The Pacers have done it again. I am here in Oklahoma City and my microphone is broke, but we power on because for the fourth straight series, a magical comeback, this time from down 15 in the fourth quarter, in a game where they committed 19 turnovers in the first half and trailed wire to wire. In the first 2/3 of this game, the Thunder's speed, switching, and historically great hands flustered Indiana's free-flowing offense, forcing a turnover on an incredible 31% of their possessions. And then, like so many Pacers games, things just happened. With OKC in control, Lou Dort harassed the ball handler that pushed Tyrese Haliburton's catch into the backcourt and left a ton of space for this little pin down in the corner for Ben Mathurin, who attacks with a great pocket pass and dunk. And this is available because Isaiah Hartenstein's the defender, which means there's no switch and just enough space for Thomas Bryant to finish. A minute later, Mathurin goes after Hartenstein in pick and roll, and that's a reach-in foul for free throws. And he had a ton of space to work with there because OKC is just glued to Haliburton. After an Isaiah Joe 3, we get vintage Pacers with TJ McConnell pushing pace, flying under the hoop with that Nash dribble, and then suddenly Bryant finds himself open for a corner 3, and as TJ comes flying around the bend here, normally Ihart would come help and Joe would zone up so he could just chase any pass into the corner. But as we discussed last video, instead of the screener rolling baseline here, Indiana's players fly across the free throw line area. That confuses Case and Wallace, so when Mathurin cuts, Joe has to do a ton of extra processing and Bryant's free in the corner. On the final trip of the quarter, it's a rare Thunder mistake. They want to bring Shai Gilgeous-Alexander into the screening action. Alex Caruso sees this and wants to pre-switch, but Shai misses the memo, and that leaves Pascal Siakam. And this Pacers bench flurry is exactly what LeBron James mentioned on the last Mind the Game podcast.
And the minutes that you thought you were winning, you could win with Hallie on the bench, you end up losing those minutes 8-2, 7-4. 9-3. Right. And those are huge minutes.
In the fourth, the Thunder continued to execute offensively, pushing their lead right back to 12. And then it's more beautiful Indiana movement. Caruso is denying the catch, Mathurin backdoors, and Jalen Williams can't save it without fouling. And then on the next trip, Mathurin comes right back again, beautiful hesitation move, and he slips by Caruso to finish. And Indy was going after Hartenstein here in space, and that little hesitation gets Isaiah retreating and is also just enough room to squeak by Caruso. The Pacers actually had good chances against Ihart earlier in this game. He ends up switched onto the speedy McConnell here and doesn't want to come way off the screener, so they rotate behind the play as Hartenstein recovers, and this is open, but the pass can't get there, and it's nearly a turnover before it's an actual turnover. But Ihart did not want to give Miles Turner easy pick and pop looks, so he doesn't stray too far from the screen before recovering on a play where someone needed to help. And at the end of the quarter, there's some confusion about the coverage here, and that leaves Obi Toppin wide open for a 3. This play also stood out compared to the Thunder's quicker lineups. He wants to stay closer to the basket, but the Pacers naturally cut a player to the opposite side in that spot, so that leaves Ihart alone on that side, and he's a step behind, and it's a clean look for the guard. Back in the fourth, Andrew Nembhard initiates offense and goes right after Hartenstein. This time, everyone helps on the ball. That leaves Toppin wide open at the top. And ironically, they have J-Dub on Turner here to keep Ihart out of the pick and pop. The rest of the floor is beautifully spaced, and these are really good possessions. OKC then goes back to the traditional matchups with Hartenstein on Turner. They get Haliburton back on the ball, simple pick and roll game. Ihart goes to help off the corner, a quick pass to Turner, and again, there's too much space, and the lead's down to 8. Just under 2 minutes earlier, it was a 15-point game after yet another forced turnover and run out for the Thunder. But out of the timeout, they once again stuck Haliburton in the corner to occupy a defender. Nembhard attacked off some screens with a smashing Euro step, and that stopped the bleeding. So Haliburton really helped their spacing when he was off ball. Here it's his screen gravity freeing Miles, who goes with the up fake, and Knicks fans hide, the Pacers voodoo is in the building. The play before that, Chet Holmgren had replaced Hartenstein as the Thunder big. They end up with this Dort 3, and because Turner closed out, he ends up with a mismatch and runs right to the front of the rim. Williams scram switches Dort out so he can contest that 3, but that leaves Miles in perfect position, and it's a foul on the floor. And on the next possession, Haliburton goes right after Holmgren. Chet recovers on the pick and pop, but they just flow into Nembhard hunting him, and Turner takes the little mid-range this time. With a 6-point lead, the Thunder miss at the rim, which springs Indiana. Haliburton sees SGA in front of him in space, and the hesitation gets him by for the scoop layup. And there was yet another cross match there, with Holmgren switched to the corner on a guard. And note that Siakam removes a possible help defender by cutting to the other side, leaving Shai on an island. Late in this game, SGA really struggled defensively, miscommunicating with J-Dub in transition here, so they both take the ball, which frees Nesmith to drive down into the paint, and there's probably one too many defenders in there for a little too long, and it ends up with another Toppin triple. The Thunder had a ton of success without any bigs earlier in this game, so they tried that late, and Hallie was like, bring me the MVP then. He again uses the hesitation to collapse the defense, and anytime a super small lineup has to help like that, rebounding opportunities are there, and it's free throws. And then a huge development, a lane violation on Siakam's hitchy free throw attempt, so Indiana picks up an extra point. I wonder if that will matter later. Anyway, OKC continued to score well, pushing it to 9 inside 3 minutes, and there's nothing tactical or sexy about this pure chaos, and oh look, it's Aaron Nesmith pulling a rabbit out of his hat. Then Nembhard takes a turn going after SGA, and again, this is just some stone cold crazy isolation nonsense to cut it to 3. And on the other end, the Pacers trap Gilgeous-Alexander to get it out of his hands, and it's yet another missed 3. A quick note on these late threes: when you have a lead, you don't want to try a higher variance strategy, and that's what these 30 or 40 something percent threes are. They're worth more in the long run, but you want a free throw or something to set your defense like a 50% too, and the Thunder are built this way outside of Gilgeous-Alexander, who, by the way, scored a ton down the stretch in this game for them, but a play like this with Jalen Williams, even taking a 50% pull-up 2 is a higher win probability than the quote-unquote more valuable 3. Anyway, back to Dort's miss. Haliburton races into the front court, and as he slows down, SGA's late on another switch, Nesmith's free, and whoa, Dort with an incredible vertical play for a guard. This looked textbook with his body, and then all ball with that long wingspan, and it got Shai out in transition and pushed the OKC lead back to 5. Whew. Obviously, the Pacers are excited by this development and push the ball immediately. I think Shai's exhausted because he sort of ball watches this as a cutter runs free behind him. Caruso gambles to help, and that's a critical foul, and they're in the bonus from all those earlier offensive rebounds. Now, remember, it's small ball everywhere. SGA's been hunting Haliburton all night, and then out of nowhere, Siakam times this block perfectly, and so when the Pacers bust out of there like it's a bank robbery, SGA's behind the play and ends up cross-matched with Pascal, which is huge because when Nembhard doesn't get the switch, he goes back into his ISO bag for round 2. Shai's just watching it all, and Siakam flies in to steal the rebound and cut it to 1. After an out-of-bounds review that was upheld, Shai just tries to isolate against Nembhard. Nesmith slides way over to help, and it's a good look for SGA, but he's off. And what a rebound by Nesmith from that help position. And because it's Indiana, there is no timeout. They don't even get a screen. Haliburton's just going to shoot it. Oh, that did not just happen again. That is their first lead of the game, and 4 times in 4 series, the Indiana Pacers have absolutely pulled off a miracle. No playoff team had ever won a game by committing 15 more turnovers than its opponent, and the Pacers won with 18 more. They turned it over on 31% of their possessions over the first 33 minutes. Their high for a game this year was 21%, and they had just a 92 offensive rating in that stretch. But in the final 14 plus minutes, they turned it over just 3 times and posted a 155 offensive rating for yet another, I can't believe I'm saying this, improbable, magical comeback to steal Game 1 of the NBA Finals. If you want to work in basketball, I have the place for you. It's Sports Business Classroom's immersive program inside Summer League in Las Vegas. Past instructors in this program have included Commissioner Adam Silver, Mike D'Antoni, and tons of other industry leaders in the NBA and in media. Sign up using the code GREATDAY for $300 off. There's more information in the description box below if you are interested. For additional content and to directly support this channel, check out patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. Thanks as always for all of your support, and wherever you're enjoying the finals from, I hope that you are having a great day.